Yo, what up, man? Chris, somebody checking back in, man. Back with the blog, man. Make sure that like button and subscribe button your way, and I appreciate all the support. Happy Thursday to everybody, man. I almost thought today was Friday. You get so lost up in your days when you be driving all these different time zones and different stuff that you in. But yeah, it's a couple things I want to talk about, man. I know a lot of y'all hit me up about the clone situation. I'll be honest, man. I've been kind of under the weather and sick, man. This shit was carrying on with me for really like a whole week and a half. So I kind of like been kind of like in and out of battle rap, but I haven't actually looked at Clone's paperwork and stuff like that. I know he gave some paperwork to Knowledge or something like that. I saw the interrogation video. I saw a couple lives that's happened, not lives, but like spaces that went on the last couple of days. The one from last night, the one he had with I think 40 bars in them earlier. So I caught up on a little bit of stuff. So I'm still really unsure on everything that happened with Clone, to keep it real with you. But I will say this, you look crazy, Clone. I gotta keep it real with you. I don't really know much about you. I've been to one of your events in Macon before. I've seen you at a bunch of bullpen events. Obviously, I followed your career being down here in the South, and you battled in Atlanta so much. I don't have a problem with you at all. But you being in an interrogation video without a lawyer, and you're a street dude, and you're basically saying like, you know, you kind of bragging on one of your lives saying that, you know, you're intelligent enough to be able to speak without implementing anybody or telling on anybody. Like, bro, you're not smarter than these niggas, man. These niggas have a serious way of like flipping your words, switching your words, asking questions 3 different ways, hoping that you get the same answer. So for you to be involved in a case and be in an interrogation room and not be like, yo, I'm not speaking without my lawyer, is just, that shit is immature as hell, and that shit makes you look bad, and you are talking. So if you'll talk then people are going to be like, yo, what else would you say? You know, there's videos that's out. People are wondering if it's edited, if it's a full video. I don't necessarily know. I see you trying to work with Knowledge. I guess you sent Knowledge some stuff, but Knowledge is not a street dude, bro. And Knowledge, I'm not, no disrespect to Knowledge, but in matters like this, he's not going to have a lot of respect. And when people are challenging him, because I think you felt like Knowledge should be speaking up more because you sent Knowledge all the paperwork or something, but you was like, when he was in the space, he wasn't, but not this, that's not who Knowledge is. Like, Knowledge is not the guy that's going to challenge or go to bat for you super heavy. You know what I'm saying? So you need a Jack Boy Maine, you need a Geechee Gotti, you need somebody that's like that to kind of speak up on your behalf if you're sending people paperwork. So I feel like everything that you've done, I just think it's backfired. So it almost don't even matter if you actually told or not. I think people don't give a fuck at this point because you have a small window to be able to explain yourself, and media training is very big. So this stuff comes out, this video comes out, you're trying to explain yourself, and the first thing you do is, I'm only going to address this one time and one time only. And then next thing you know, you've addressed it 5 times. You know what I'm saying? 4 or 5 different times. You've done multiple spaces. Stuff like all that stuff just makes you look guilty. And I'm not here to say whether he's guilty. Like I said, I ain't looked into his stuff enough, but I know he's not necessarily explaining himself well enough. And when you sit down, like I say, you got one time to really make a first impression. So this video comes out on you. Now you have to explain yourself. I was in the same boat. I had a 2 Doors Down video that dropped out of nowhere. You know what I'm saying? I woke up. It was I remember like it was yesterday. It was a Tuesday. A video dropped. Girl gets online. Oh, Chris is stalking me. He moved into my neighborhood. If I die, it's because of Chris. Blah, 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 blah. All this kind of stuff. To me, it's crazy because I'm like, yo, you can just go to the police. I'm not even supposed to be around you. You can go to police. Why are you on the internet, and why are you on battle rap internet? But it, to other people, as I guess simple as that is to me, it's not simple to other people. You know what I'm saying? In my mind, I'm like, yo, go call the police. Go tell the DA. Go do this. It should be a simple arrest. I should be arrested. Why am I not arrested if I really live 2 doors down? That's simple to me, but I only have one time to explain stuff. I tell my lawyer like, yo, don't talk. That's why I disappeared from the internet for like a month, and I ain't put no blogs out, no nothing. And probably everybody thought Chris Unbiased was done. I come out, I do a video. I think it was Lies Need Company or something like that, or whatever video I did. But it was just like that video is the video that allows me to continue on in this culture. And you only have one time to explain yourself. And I think with Clone, first of all, he's like too, I guess he's too mad, I guess, or whatever. Or he's kind of like, his demeanor is not like, oh, this is what happened, let me explain. His demeanor is like the nerve of you niggas kind of thing. And it just comes off a certain way. And you're not liked well enough to get away from that. Bad News, I said the same thing. He's not liked enough in this culture. You know what I'm saying? He's not Twork. He's not one of these big superstars. You know, people right now sending me big U shit and telling me Surf is snitching and all this kind of stuff and want me to do blogs on Surf. Surf is big enough in this culture that if you try to attach a snitch label to Surf for anything he's done in the past, and people have tried to, like, oh, you know, he did a gun charge, he only did a year, how he keep getting out of jail. Every battle, people bring this stuff up. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you only did 1 year for a gun charge. How you do that, Surf? It's all, but in order to nail Surf on a snitch label, you have to be 100% accurate. He's too powerful in this culture. He has too many fans. He has too many fans that's going to give him the benefit of doubt. Too many fans are going to say it's not true. So for you to go down that rabbit hole, you better have your ducks in a row. Someone like a Bad News, someone like a Clone, you can kind of have your ducks in a row, but it's like people can still overpower Clone because he can't beat more popular people. So he got Piper Boy on his helmet. Shout out to Piper Boy. You know what I'm saying? Piper Boy is one of the media goats. He's one of the people in this culture that is very good at exposing niggas. He's very good at explaining things. And at the end of the day, he has a fan base. He's super popular. Clone is not more popular than Piper Boy. So, you know, you look at it can be worked well. Like I think he helped Kid Slade out, Piper Boy did. And in this situation, he owned Clone helmet. Clone is not going, your thing of like, oh, trying to go at Piper Boy, that's not going to work, bro. It's just not going to work. Like Piper Boy is too seasoned in his attack methods for this. You know what I'm saying? Like these old bloggers, man, me, Caps, Piper Boy, Vada, all these people, we've been around so long. We've seen all the blogger wars, all this. You got to know how to come at bloggers like that because they've seen it all. So I just think that that's not helping his case. He don't have no allies. Like, who's defending Clone? John puts out a tweet. It says something like, yo, stop tagging me to post. I booked the battles. I don't have anything to do with people's personal business. That's a neutral stance. You know, I tell you a lot of times, man, neutral is the new negative, and it's a neutral stance. So he's distancing himself away sort of from Bad News. He hasn't spoke on it. And now Clone, he's not speaking on it. So I don't know if he'll book these guys again, but he's not speaking on it. So I just feel like for Clone to kind of like have this situation, he's not like, he doesn't want to show the whole video because it has personal stuff in there. And I understand that because in my situation, people be quick to be like, oh, just put your Discovery up. But Discovery has so many people's names and addresses, I can't put the Discovery up. So I understand that. But at the same time, your case is over with. You know what I'm saying? Your case is done. So it's almost like you have more of the ability to speak more. You know, I had a lawyer telling me don't do this, this, and this. You really don't have that anymore. So that video, you should just put everything on the table. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like the spaces that went on yesterday, they had some guy came in, he was basically trying to say that, you know, first of all, he was saying Clone wasn't really a street nigga, he was just really around, but niggas put him down and all this kind of stuff. And he was like claiming the street shit, but he really didn't put no stain on, put no work in. So he had that going on. Then nigga was saying that you got him in a RICO, you told all this kind of stuff. So he's saying that. He sounds very believable. I'll give it to him. There was another space where niggas was pulling that dude's paperwork and saying like, nah, this dude went to jail for like sodomy of a kid or something. Like he didn't go to jail for something Clone did. So people were discrediting him in another space. I've heard a couple things, but I think the space where he was trying to expose Clone is going to be louder than the space that they were trying to discredit him is going to be. You know what I'm saying? So now it's almost like, Clone, I really don't know what you gonna be able to do, bro, to keep it real with you, because like I said, I ain't looked at all your paperwork. I don't know everything. I know your explanations don't sound great. And if you don't have the capability to explain yourself and explain yourself not so much like you left the space last night too, bro. Like you left the space right when the other nigga came on that was kind of like saying that you wasn't really like that you told on him. Like he come on right when you leave or whatever. And it's just like you probably should have popped back in and confronted him. I felt like that would have went well with you if you could have, like you and him could have had a little one-on-one in the space. He doing all this talking, you had just bounced. And I'm thinking like, damn, ain't nobody gonna tell Clone to come back. So at the end of the day, man, I just feel like it's just not a good look, bro. It's just not a good look. You trying to like spread, send stuff to knowledge, and I think you want to use the Hip Hop is Real channel. And this is why you have to have your own channel so you can control the narrative and control how you want to speak. You have to be able to do that because right now you're trying to depend on people uploading spaces on your behalf, people uploading knowledge, expressing stuff, and knowledge wasn't doing it. Knowledge really wasn't saving you. I think you sent him all that paperwork thinking that knowledge was going to be saying, well, I looked at it and I saw this, this, and this. But I think a lot of people like knowledge wasn't doing that. And then knowledge is not the person you need to do that. So I'm like, now that you didn't went from like this not really being a super big story. Like when it first dropped, it was like, yeah, it came across my desk. I kind of looked at it like, oh, interrogation. I ain't think much about it. Then you put out this thing, and then it was like, okay, you addressed it. This is the only time I'm gonna address it, and you really didn't really address too much. You just said what it was, and that was that. Then you went from fucking, I guess, antagonizing bloggers. Like, yo, anybody that ever said something about me, make sure you get all the screenshots, and then you and Piper Boy get into it, and Piper Boy's on your helmet, and he's winning that battle. And then you get in the space, and you're explaining, and then this nigga is discrediting you, and then you lead the space, and then you in another space with 40 bars, an official trying to discredit. And I'm just like, bro, you're talking way too much, bro, for something that should be a lot more simpler. And if it's not simple enough for you to explain, then you don't need to fucking say nothing. You don't need to say nothing. You need to speak when you can fucking express yourself properly. Because what you gotta always realize is people don't want to believe you in the first place. They don't want to believe you. It's the lie is always more entertaining than the truth. So whatever you think may happen or whatever, it's a lot better to be like, oh, Clone is a snitch. Bad News is a snitch. The whole bullpen is like a snitch league. It's easier to say that than it is to believe like, nah, Clone is a stand-up guy. You don't have enough of a fan base. You don't have real fans. You don't got no ballers going to bat for you. You don't got a league owner going to bat for you like John. You don't got bloggers going to bat for you. You don't got other ballers going to bat for you. You can't even lean on Bad News, another bullpen person. I don't see Loso. I don't see nobody saying anything on your behalf. That's because you're not popular enough. So when you do speak, you got to be able to know like, okay, people already is going to not give me the benefit of the doubt. What can I say to win everybody back? And you're not doing it, bro. So I don't know if you are a snitch. I know that you spoke in an interrogation room without a lawyer. The fact that you spoke, people can just put two to two together and say you spoke then, you'll speak later. That's how people just look at it. And I don't necessarily, me personally, I don't feel like snitching is just, I told on you and you got arrested. If you are willing to talk and you're willing to snitch, if you're willing to talk and you're willing to snitch and if you testify, then you're likely to be someone that will tell. That's just the way it's looked at. So if you was in jail and people knew about the video or people had this or had that, they would be looking at you crazy right now. That's how they would be looking at you. So for me, I feel like anybody that testifies, anybody that's talking this and that, you were naming names that was supposed to be an alleged record label. The dude came in and said that really wasn't a record label. Like he's discrediting that. Like he made you look bad. You know what I'm saying? I know you trying to say he looks bad too because he's was locked up for some funny shit. So I know y'all discrediting each other, but his voice is a little bit louder right now. So I gotta keep it real with you, Clone. I just felt like You had an opportunity to clear your name, and I don't think you cleared it well enough. So whether you're a snitch or not, I don't think at this point matters because you haven't done enough to change any narratives. You still got the bloggers that were loud on you are going to stay loud. The climate right now is that a lot of niggas are telling, so it seems about right now. And at the end of the day, you don't have no allies and no fan base. You don't have nobody vouching for you. So I just feel like that it ain't gonna be good. It ain't gonna be good at all. So I think that's the label that you're gonna get. And I don't really think you're not gonna get too many more chances to keep explaining this shit. And right now, you ain't done enough to explain it away. So I don't really know, bro. Unless you're gonna drop that whole entire video, and that video seems like it's edited or cut off or unless that whole entire video comes off and people can see it from a different light, you're not gonna be able to clear yourself. You're just not gonna be able to. And that's just my thoughts on it. I could be wrong. Like I said, I don't got nothing against Clone, but you only get one or two opportunities, man. Sometimes even one to explain yourself. And I think right now, you're going in spaces where you're getting attacked. You're going and you're using knowledge who's not really a street dude. You're doing a lot of different, you're going on Instagram Live, but you don't really have no fan base. You don't really got no followers. And this is what happens when you don't have a way to express yourself. You don't have a channel that you can turn on that's going to bring a lot of eyes here so everybody can be like, I want to hear what Chris got to say. You don't have that. When you don't have that, you're depending on other messages to get out a certain way, and it's just not. And sometimes spaces ain't really good to clear your name because they be too fucking long, bro. A space can be an hour long, and by the time people hear everything they need to hear to feel good about your story, they got to listen to an hour-long space. That's too long to get to the fucking point. I didn't snitch. Here go the paperwork, here go this, here go that, and it be the end of it. If you can't do that, a lot of times niggas don't feel like sifting through all that shit to get to it. So that's how I feel about the Clone situation. So I don't really know. I don't really know. I think he gonna get labeled like that, whether it's right or not. I feel like he's gonna get labeled like that. He has too many powers against him. You know what I'm saying? Like, for me, I'm just speaking on the situation. He got niggas bombing on him like Piper Boy. He got fucking, Henny Man is kind of a little bit on his helmet. These are guys with big channels, bro. Piper Boy is 100,000 subscribers. Henny Man, 50, 70, 60, 70. These niggas are on his helmet. It's hard to beat that. It's hard to beat that. And when you try to beat it, you better have your fucking ducks in a row. And when you don't, you look crazy. And when I listen to him, he doesn't come off like he's explaining himself well. So that's just my thoughts. What else? We had the Goodz in the Twork situation. I saw people talking about Goodz ain't a star. I actually think that's ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? I definitely think Goodz is a star without a doubt. You can tell you a star because you can get any battle you want. Goodz right now can get any battle that he wants. No matter who it is, he can call out anybody and they'll battle him. Nobody will turn down a Goodz battle. And that kind of right there does allow you to be a star. Obviously, he had, he don't really blog as much as he used to, but, he had a channel that was definitely booming or whatever. He's done a lot of recaps on battles that have done a lot of views. Like some of his Easy to Block Captain recaps are some of the highest recap views of even over bloggers that blog all the time. I think he had like an easy recap recently on the Suge battle. I might have like 60,000 views or something. Like, bloggers ain't doing those kind of numbers on recaps. So you have that factor. He's one of the highest paid battlers. He's higher paid than Twork. Now I know that for a fact. So I don't really know why Twork gets that from. So the pay is there. The popularity is there. He's definitely 1 million views easy on YouTube or whatever. So I don't really think nothing else can be said. And then it's one thing to say he's not, I guess, a superstar, but then you name Eunice. I'm just like, bro, Eunice will never be a superstar, bro. Never be a superstar at all. I said this before, I say this again. Part of being a star, other than just popularity and your ability to promote and stuff like that, Eunice ain't popular enough. People don't clamor enough to him, so he don't have that going for him. He don't have no social media followings and stuff that's blowing up. He don't have nothing. So that right there, the numbers there aren't there for him. But part of it is emulation. People gotta want to be like you, and that's part of being a star. That's what makes people need to want to be like you. So when they look at all these social media influencers and they have them like sponsoring all of these products, they pick these women or men because they feel like they have fans and people want to be like them. So they say, okay, we'll give you a t-shirt to wear because maybe if you wear the t-shirt, other people will want to buy it because you wore it. What is that? Emulation. So-and-so got a t-shirt on. You know what I'm saying? Let's just pick any celebrity. Jay-Z. Jay-Z got this t-shirt on. So therefore, people will wear it because it's Jay-Z. 50 Cent got a t-shirt on. People will wear it because it's 50 Cent. You know what I'm saying? Lil Baby, Da Baby, whoever got this on. So they try to use that. That's influence. So you got it. Part of that is emulation. Eunice don't have any emulation. He looks like a kid. He looks like a high schooler. He's a virgin. Nobody wants to be like that. And that's part of Eunice's problem is nobody's want to emulate him. He's not a street dude. He's not a superstar like Surf. He's not, he's not a Verb. He's not a Surf. He's not a Lux, a Mook. People didn't grow up looking up to him and all this. All of those things can equal to emulation. That's what Goodz has. That's why you know he's a superstar, because when you look at Goodz, he's one of the more successful battle rappers. Like, I've been to his crib. I've been out to eat with Goodz before. Like, and he ain't just eating at cheap ass places and ordering bullshit food. I hung out with him in Atlanta where he's had like hella bitches around him. Like he's a chick getter. You know what I'm saying? Like a chick magnet or whatever. Chicks fuck with him. So at the end of the day, when you add all of that up, that stuff makes you a superstar. So nah, Eunice don't have that. And then he said Capo was a star, and Capo not a star either. You know what I'm saying? He's just not a star. He's emerging. He's definitely on a rise of being someone that has potential. But nah, right now, none of them are even stars to me. They're just good battlers. They're not stars. So that's just where I'm at with it. But as far as the battle, I don't want to see Twork and Goodz. I'll keep it real. I don't want to see that. I'd rather see Goodz and Math or Goodz and Surf. I'd rather see that battle, to be real with you. I don't want to see Goodz and Twork. So that's just my thoughts on it, man. Chris Unbiased, let me know what you think. Holla at your boy.